What's up, Taiwan? I'm Eric Gao, bringing you the news this Monday afternoon. Taiwan is condemning China's military drills around the country, calling them irrational provocations. Now, Beijing launched large-scale open-ended drills around Taiwan earlier on Monday, saying that it's a warning to those who, quote, promote independence. Hsieh is following this story for us here in Taipei, and he joins us from the TaiwanPlus newsroom. Hsieh, what do we know so far about these drills, and what's Taiwan's response been?
Well, Taiwan has scrambled fighter jets and deployed anti-air and anti-ship missiles in response to China's military activity. Taiwan has already spotted about 25 Chinese military aircraft around the region. There's also a Chinese aircraft carrier in waters east of Taiwan. So what we know so far is that China announced that it's conducting a large-scale military exercises that it's calling Joint Sword-2024B. They started Monday at 6 a.m., but China has yet to give an end date to those exercises. Beijing says that the drills aim to practice how to blockade Taiwan and control key ports. It's also practicing how to strike targets both on land and at sea. Now, these drills come just a few days after Taiwan celebrated its National Day, where President Lai Ching-te gave a speech saying that neither the Republic of China, which is Taiwan's official name, or the PRC, the People's Republic of China, are not subordinate to each other. Now, that statement is seen as pretty provocative from China, as it sees Taiwan as part of its own territory. Overall, Lai's speech was pretty restrained at even reaching out to Beijing at some times to ask for cooperation on certain issues like climate change and regional security. But despite Lai giving a more toned down speech, many say that China was just looking for a pretext to conduct exercises. I spoke to one analyst who said that China was always going to react in this way.
I think it's really important to note that President Lai's speech was very, he tried to strike a very even tone and choose words that resembled those of President Tsai and just find a lot of continuity. And I think there's a really clear indicator here that even with that good effort by President Lai, Beijing is just not having it. And that's a really important sign, I think, for everybody to take. I think what's interesting, though, is that in parallel to this response, you also have President Tsai, who's now obviously out of office. She's taking a trip to Europe. So I think the lack of an end date, or at least public acknowledgement of an end date, gives the PRC to also signal a response to President Tsai's visit to Europe, depending on what she says or does publicly as well.
Well, Lauren, what's your read on these exercises? Is this more about China trying to practice how to blockade Taiwan?
You know, there's a lot of different signals I would read from this. One of them is that, the PRC no longer has just the intention to do these things. They also have the capability, and they're very clearly demonstrating it too. Whether it's the Coast Guard or some of the closure zones, the way they've changed how this exercise is linked together, and how you had the aircraft carrier as well sailing out last night through the Bashi Channel. All of that, to me, is a very clear signal that, again, the PRC has the capability to do something like a blockade or a quarantine, and they're adjusting and refining some of these tactics within that capability space to enforce a blockade or quarantine.
Now, there's been a lot of comparisons between these drills and drills that were held back in May from China after Lai Ching-te took office. Those were called Joint Sword 2024A. These drills that started on Monday are called Joint Sword 2024B. So many believe that this is just part two, a continuation of China's military aggression towards Taiwan. It's still a bit too early to tell what the key differences, what the real differences are between the two drills. But regardless of the situation, Taiwan's military says it is alert and responding to the situation.
Thanks for that, Hsieh. That was Hsieh reporting on China's large-scale military exercises around Taiwan. We'll have another update on those drills later today on TaiwanPlus News. Now, people living in Taiwan's Kinmen Islands, they say they're not concerned about the Chinese military drills taking place just off their shores, and that's despite their location just a few kilometers off China's coast. Cadence Quaranta has more from Kinmen.
Here on Taiwan's outlying Kinmen Islands, just kilometers away from China, China has not surrounded Kinmen's main islands this time, unlike the military exercises China launched in May. Instead, they're happening to the north of here, around Kinmen's small northern islands. And Coast Guard vessels from China's Fujian province are doing law enforcement patrols and inspections around Taiwan's Matsu Islands, which is also part of the exercises. Kinmen's Coast Guard has also picked up a Chinese citizen who has defected to Taiwan, and officials say they are not ruling out a connection to the drills. But here in Kinmen, many say the drills have no effect on their lives.
不知道，我不知道。之前有演习，也是演习之后我才知道的。
金门这边有很多通水，通其他山通哦，有跟金门的百姓哈有来往啊，他不会跟金门打仗起来。
一样啊，还是很热闹啊。我们百姓生活还是照样过啊。
我们这边一点都不紧张，
生活在这边真的一直很安全。我们金门是真的非常的安全，安全到不行。
While many Kinmen residents are unconcerned by moves by China's military, they also say it's important to keep peace.
他们的这个海警船也常常在金门海域出没哈，那这样子的样态可能已经变成是一个惯性的一个样态。那当然我们是希望说两岸能够维持一个比较平稳或和平这样的关系。那关于这种军演的举行，我相信说对两岸的这个民众的心理方面都多少会有影响。
因为我觉得不要打仗，打仗不管是谁赢，到最后大家都是输。
While these waters may look quiet, Kinmen remains the front line between Taiwan and China, leaving it in the middle of tensions between the two sides. Ryan Wu, Pichi Zhuang, and Cadence Quaranta for TaiwanPlus.
A vote to recall Keelung Mayor George Hsieh on Sunday failed to remove him from office. But the result is highlighting Taiwan's recall laws and its partisan divides. Tiffany Wang reports.
我们这一场选战已经顺利结束了，谢谢大家。
Keelung Mayor George Hsieh returns to work after dodging an attempt to remove him from office. Hsieh has faced a campaign for his removal since becoming mayor of the northern city in December 2022. Campaigners say he hasn't fulfilled his election promises, pointing to allegations of corruption in the operation of a local mall. The vote to recall him saw a turnout of just over 50%, with 55.15% voting against and 44.85% in favor.
其实这一次的选举，他们并没有输，基隆的公民、基隆的市民更没有输，因为我们用民主投票的方式来完成了70几年来从来都未能完成的。
Taiwan's election laws mean Hsieh won't face another recall vote for his remaining 2 years in office. Although the campaign to recall Hsieh failed, nearly 70,000 people voted against him.
今天我们拿到的罢免票是有7万票，这代表我们的心声一路以来都有被我们的基隆市民所听见。请谢国良市长认清到，今天有7万名的基隆人对你的施政感到不满。
Hsieh's party, the Kuomintang, has accused the ruling Democratic Progressive Party of coordinating the campaign. They're worried it could spur other recall petitions around the country.
今天台湾的这个民主啊，应该还是在一个良性竞争，不是动辄以用罢免的方式，想要用报复或者是冰斗的方式。如果是继续这样的一个作为的话，那当然无助于朝野的一个协调，也事实上只是造成社会更多的对立而已。
Only one mayor has ever been successfully recalled in Taiwan, when former mayor of Kaohsiung, Han Kuo-yu, was removed in 2020. While Hsieh is in the clear for now, the residents of his city have voiced their opinions and sent a powerful message to other politicians in Taiwan. Eason Chen and Tiffany Wang for TaiwanPlus.
TSMC is reportedly planning more production sites in Europe. Its first one in Dresden, Germany, is currently under construction. Speaking to Bloomberg, Taiwan's technology minister, Wu Zhenwen, said the chip giant is already planning its next few fabs for different market sectors, including artificial intelligence. However, TSMC itself has remained tight-lipped, saying it's focusing on its current multiple billion-dollar projects in the US, Japan, and Germany, with no plans to announce new ones at this time. Concerns are growing that key sectors here in Taiwan may soon be facing a severe labor shortage. Every year, state-owned enterprises hold exams for prospective employees. But the number of applicants has dropped, and now some firms are looking outside the country for talent. Wesley Lewis reports.
Sitting through exams, these applicants are hoping to secure a job at one of Taiwan's many state-owned enterprises. Companies like Taipower and CPC, the country's main petroleum company,
相对比较稳定，然后等于说人生后面就是固定好。
Most of the applicants here are recent college graduates, drawn to the competitive wages that these state-owned enterprises offer.
上一份工作大概3万多的薪水，考进去起薪就是4万多，那可能接下来还会再加。
Despite the perks, only around half of the 21,000 people who registered to take the exam actually showed up. That's a 3-year low. On top of low exam attendance, Taipower has also reported a shortage of skilled contractors. This has prompted the company to roll out a new initiative to train more migrant workers to make up for the looming manpower shortage.
语言上面大家要先沟通嘛。台电来讲，它确实是一个要专业技术的，那它必须要去考的证照，所以也会辅导他考证照。
As the country faces a potential labor shortage in key sectors, companies like Taipower say they will do more to offer migrant workers and prospective employees above market wages and professional training, in a bid to attract and retain needed talent. John Su and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
A major cleanup operation is underway in the U.S. state of Florida in the aftermath of Hurricane Milton. More than 5 million people were urged to leave their homes before Milton hit the state, and many are now returning to pick up the pieces. Rosie Greninger reports.
Florida residents assess the damage to their homes. Battered by Hurricane Milton, the second major storm to slam into the US state in less than 2 weeks. With gale-force winds, storm surge and torrential rain that prompted flooding, the Category 3 storm wreaked havoc, toppling trees, downing power lines and destroying businesses and homes.
Total destruction. Total destruction. This is in chaos. This was, as you can see it, you know, you couldn't see through this lower floor. This was all walled in. So as you can see, the walls are on the floor. All this was a garage door right there where you're standing, and this was all walled in. Now it's all open.
The storm claimed the lives of at least 17 people, and rescues are still underway, with many trapped in their homes due to major flooding. At least 1,600 people have already been returned to safety, including the captain of a fishing vessel who was found clinging to a cooler 50 kilometres out to sea. As authorities continue searching for those missing, the state's governor has urged residents to keep exercising caution, citing ongoing safety threats.
We're now in the period where you have fatalities that are preventable. We have had fatalities because of interaction with downed power lines and water. We are seeing hazards that are still there.
A major cleanup effort is underway, with Milton adding piles of debris to the damage caused here by Hurricane Helene less than 2 weeks ago. Troops are on the ground delivering food, water and other necessities to the millions impacted. Fuel is in short supply and workers are attempting to restore power to the at least 500,000 homes still in the dark. While surveying the damage, US President Joe Biden said he was thankful the storm was not as catastrophic as originally predicted, but noted the damage is still extensive.
And homeowners have taken a real beating these back-to-back storms, and they're heartbroken and exhausted, and their expenses are piling up.
Biden has approved federal aid to help recovery efforts and pledged to ask Congress for additional funds. Damages have been estimated at over $50 billion US, leaving residents here who've begun picking up the pieces with a mammoth task to return the state and their lives back to normality. Dolphine Chen and Rosie Greninger for TaiwanPlus.
Thanks for tuning in today for What's Up Taiwan. Finally, we take a look at the Women in Art Fair in London, an initiative aimed at promoting gender equality in the industry. I'm Eric Gao, and we'll see you later. Take care.